What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys had a absolutely fantastic weekend, and hope you guys are feeling like the SPY, the Qs, but hope you guys are really feeling like crypto over the weekend. Crypto going absolutely crazy. Nice little bounce back. The market's kind of reacting pretty positive as well. So hanging in there for March so far, and even toward the end of February, since we have a new candle. Let's take a look real quick at how that month ended. Yeah, nothing happened. Nothing for all the fear, panic, worry. We're just back inside. Strong rally the last, I don't know, 3 hours of the day on Friday. Made this candle look a lot better than the entire month of February kind of felt. That's pretty crazy. But we got Amy now. Good morning to you. Good morning to Anna, Andy, Andy. Good morning to Bill. And just hopped in, I believe. Somebody, I don't know, my list got moved around a little bit. Good morning to Bill. Good morning to Cindy. Good morning to Frank, Greg, Jeffrey, JT, Kevin, Lauren, Marius, Martina, Michelle's in the house. Good morning to Ray, Tim. We got Virginia in the house. Good morning to Wendy. All my people out in YouTube land. I believe it looks like Clarice was first. I thought Mustafa was first. Oh. All right. Good morning to both of you. Good morning to Leonard as well. Mari Mar Trades is in the house. What's up, Mari Mar? And then we got all my lurkers, of course. All the lurkers in the background of YouTube land. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. But Spy is yeah, that's a monthly candle. Let's take a look real quick at the Q's monthly candle to see how much fear panic we should have. It did close red, so unfortunately for the Qs, they just couldn't cut it. But you did have a nice little gap up to get above the high of the opening price from last month. That would be 540.81. Is that correct? No, that's the high. The opening is 513.47. So you're about $1 away with this gap up from just even coming back to the close. So pretty wild Friday, last day of the month, just to shake these markets up a little bit further. As far as today goes, let's see if any of this gap makes a difference. It is a retest gap, and we're gapping into a very interesting location, so not bad. Getting above some prior resistance, which is essentially where we closed on Friday. So that's 594.49. So somewhere around that 594, let's say 50. That should be some kind of support if we get a pullback, which it is a retest gap, and we're at the highs of Thursday's candle. So we're right at the open. Both those days had some good volume on it. The next real good volume on the way up would take us into the 600 again. So $600.15 range. If we get above that, I think we have to be eyeing down the 609 again. But before we get there, we're right back into this retest. We still have to break out this candle from really Thursday and get above the 50 and 20 EMA. So I think we have a little chop. The markets did move a lot. I mean, even from live trading on Friday, but I mean, the low of the day was 582, and now you're having a gap up in the 596. So it's a big move on the SPY already if you nab the lows of it. Other than that, there's not too much resistance. I guess the next immediate resistance would take us into 599.70, and then we said 638. If we could get any closing above those numbers, especially the 600. We're back to the bullish swing of things. Back to the bullish swings. I think we have potential tariffs coming in tomorrow too. So be cautious of that. I think we're supposed to implement tariffs to China, I think 20%. And then we got Mexico and Canada as well, all supposed to come tomorrow. So I don't know how fearful somebody might be going into tomorrow with that potential news, but it could also get kicked down the road and could be another month. And that's going to just cause a little more chaos for the markets. Otherwise, you got Qs, pretty decent gap up. It is inside of Thursday's candles. We haven't really broken out of that one yet. Otherwise, decent location. It is a retest from Friday. Maybe we get a little pullback on this one to 510, somewhere around 510.78. If we could hold that, great. If not, then we are coming all the way back down to 503.01 to the higher side. We could have really good resistance at 518.35. If we close above that, that sets us up for a pretty decent move. But the next immediate target would be 523.67. Probably for today, if we start really making a good push. Otherwise, you got 526, 74, something to that extent. But that would be a phenomenal move, and we're going to need a little bit more fuel to the fire, I think, to get us up into that range. All right, let's check out Bitcoin. Bitcoin was down. Oh, Bitcoin USD. Let's go to the actual one. Bitcoin a couple days ago, 2 days ago, started falling off the face of the earth into the 78 200 range. One incredible looking hammer, nice little follow through next day, and then just a pure breakout off of Trump saying, talking about some of the US government crypto reserves. I think he's adding Solana, Cardano, and XRP to it. So all of those three were making really good moves, and Bitcoin did as well. Right now on Bitcoin, it's just hanging out, but really good breakout candle right into the previous resistance. So we still have to see what happens here. But if we could hold in this upper third range and then we start breaking out of this candle tomorrow, that would set us up for a really good push further in the crypto space. I've got some tickers coming in, and yeah, the first two I see, there's a couple others. I guess the first one I see is also kind of crypto related, would move like or would move positivity, positively. Man, it's Monday. Leave me alone. But we got we got 55.28. So we are. It is a nice little gap. It's a retest from Friday, but more importantly, I think we're breaking out of that well above that Thursday range. Maybe a little bit too high. I think if you have shares, you're probably looking to sell some cover calls today on it, just in case. You could probably get some decent premium on it. But nice move. And then the big key spot I'd want to watch for is, can we break through 55.32? So I'd be patient and open. See if you get a little pullback first. That pullback. Uh, First spot I would look is maybe we get into like this 52.40 range. Otherwise, I would say the retest into Thursday's candle, which would be 51.71 on this pullback. And then that might set us up for a further kind of bigger push. But if we open, we start getting some immediate closes above 55.32, you have some decent room. I guess first resistance, 56.43 from that point. I think that's a little bit of a weak one. I think you'd really be targeting this 59.34 with a decent amount more room to go for today. If you could clear above that. Otherwise, I think being patient at open, I do have it pretty high on the list. Let's get that one a little bit higher to watch. Okta has earnings, I believe, today after the bell, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So today after the bell. They had a really good report last time. They made a nice move last time. I think the conditions of the market were a little bit different last quarter than it is on this one. Let's get some of those lines off the chart. Uh, so I don't know if I'd play this one. I think I did play this one through earnings last quarter, just because he was set up fairly decent. Now you're kind of back into those highs. I don't think I'd have any action and probably wait for the report if you're going to try to play it, and then maybe play it after hours when some of those numbers come out. I don't I don't see anything really holding us back as long as we stay above this 83.50. I think we're decent for a bullish pop, but right now for today, I've got nothing really. If you're gonna try to play for his day trade, you got 94.19 somewhere up in that zone. Would be your next stop. One big resistance coming in, and that is 92.41, and then you should have a decent push before that if people are trying to go bullish ahead of the report. Otherwise, yeah, if anything, if we start after hours, start getting to like 98.50 or higher, you probably have some more continuation to like 106, 107 for the earnings report today. But I don't like the position as much to play through earnings, but maybe for day trade, if people want to just buy it up ahead. You got Marvell. That's interesting. It's a nice little break below the 200 Friday with every bull possible coming out of the woodworks. We managed to climb above it. Same thing. So far, I'm looking at a lot of decent gaps. Potentially, maybe some reversal in the market. Again, just a big high wave candle, really from February on a lot of the major SPY cues. But pretty good gap. If you get a retest, the first spot, which it doesn't have to hold this one, but I'd look for like 93.21, the better one. If it pulls back, 92.55. First resistance I'm looking at takes me to about 94.98. Anything above that. I really think the target probably would take you to about 99.40, but some resistance just psychologically. Thursday's candle somewhere around this $98 zone. So pretty decent on a if we could get a small pullback, I think a high wave candle would play pretty well here. High wave at open. Give me some kind of selling. That's also probably an open into about the 618 from that high of this candle to really the low of Friday into where we're opening as well. So maybe some chop and maybe some people after hours market makers having a little fun. Coinbase, here's another one opening right into that 200. Obviously, we had that good move from crypto yesterday, but this is already kind of pricing it in at this point. I think everybody had the thought of maybe after that news came out, maybe we should hop into Coinbase as soon as the market's open. So last night it started to get that nice open, good pump, and it's just kind of chilling a little bit at resistance. I don't think I wouldn't mind taking a stab at this one though. We are above a two things. One, very key volume zone. If we open here, 237.39, and we are above that 100. So it is a retest gap from Friday, but we might be taking out. Yeah, we're taking a good volume on this candle. And then this candle has a lot of volume on it, and we're above that VPOC. So I think this one might have also some decent room on it too. First, next stop, 246.83, and then I'm looking for 255.36. Would love to see a little chop, maybe a little profit taking. Somebody did buy this thing on Friday. Somebody's waking up to a decent little bank account today. So maybe some chop. If we get that pullback, look for like 229.16, see if that could hold. I don't really want to see that number get taken out to the downside. So very interesting though. So far out of all of them, that I think has the most room that I've seen MSTR. If we're opening where this market's telling me all these other stocks are looking to open. MSTR, I think I like Coinbase a little bit better. Also, not a bad location. Bigger thing is this candle on Tuesday of last week. That was a high volume candle, nice breakdown, good close into that 200. Got a little scary for some bulls. Bearish engulfing candle retest. I don't think there was any sign that this thing is really going to get a nice pop until you have some treasury or crypto reserve news coming out. That is a good gap. Um, Coinbase, I think, has more room on it, but MSTR, I think, has a little bit more bear trap to. Yeah, let's get this one up too. Again, watch this level. See if you get a pullback. See if like 291.78 wants to hold. If that starts to break down, then it could get a little bit more scary. Probably almost a full-on retest of this last few days. That would take me into like 268, 268.04. But if we could hold this 291.78, you do have some moving averages ahead of you. Your next target, not a great risk reward, 303.95. But if we could get through that, and I don't know if Bitcoin just wants to chill out after the move that we put in yesterday, but that's gonna be a fun one to watch for sure. MSFT. Lauren wants to take a look at Intel. No, this is not the MACD at the bottom of my chart. When this is the TTM squeeze. Yep. The oscillators is probably what you're looking at. They're similar to the MACDs, but they work a little bit different. Mhm. Microsoft, it's okay gap, not bad. It is a retest gap still into this Thursday. I would have loved to see us gap a little bit higher into like this 403 range at least. It hasn't, even on Friday. Friday, it did make a nice bounce, but we're just hanging out in this range. I got 400, somewhere around here. Yeah, right around $400 mark. Somewhere in that zone was where I was looking for like a big target for yesterday. We are above it, so I think my target for today probably about 402.61. I just don't know if this one has the same bullish sentiment yet coming in. Just kind of looks like it just still tangled up in the last few days. So maybe a little bit more choppy. If I'm gonna play that one, I'm gonna want to see a bigger pullback, get me the best possible risk reward. That could come as soon as 398.27, but and then Friday's VPOC is a little bit lower, 391.82. I think that one's gonna be a little bit more choppy. Tesla, Tesla. Yeah, they also had a upgrade from Morgan Stanley to I think 480 was their price target, which would be a really nice return. You have a good gap. Obviously, support from the rest of the market, also getting some momentum in. This is where this one's going to get tricky. You have your 200 EMA sitting somewhere around 302.87. You also have a good VPOC with lots of volume. That's going to be a monster support or resistance. So if we could get above, let's even go a little bit higher. If we can get above 303.50, there's not a lot in the way of holding us back. So 303.50 is going to be my key. Otherwise, opening to the zone, I've got resistance not too far above us. I also have support not too far below us, somewhere around 299.24. And then you got that magical 200 EMA, which is also something else that people might be looking to trade into targets. Obviously, in a longer term sense, we are on a big pullback. The question is this a major reversal spot? I don't know, maybe. Um, but that's a big the 303.50. If you could get me above that one, I'm gonna be able to ride that one bullish. Otherwise, I'm gonna watch out for some chop, maybe a pullback at open, and then if we get that pullback, first spot again, 209, 229.15-ish, or full on retest to like 290.35, and that would be a better spot for some of those bulls to try to play. But we'll get this one higher as well. We watch it every day, so why why not why not keep it up there today? XYZ. XYZ. Not bad. I would like to see a little tiny pullback at open, but nothing crazy. Stall out somewhere around 66.40. Small high wave candle. I like the amount of room on this one. So we got 68.38, and you probably have a little psychological resistance right around 68 too. So $68 is going to be probably my initial target on this one. Otherwise, I think the true target probably a little bit higher. So 68.38, well, somewhere in that zone. If we cannot hold this 66.40, yeah, 66.40, I'd be patient. You might have a bigger pullback into like 65.27. That would get you much better risk reward if you're trying it. I don't know if I'm bullish today on XYZ. Obviously, got clobbered from earnings, hasn't really found its breakout yet. Maybe that comes today, but otherwise, we're just sideways chop continuation, and it's an interesting looking gap with some decent room to the upside if we can hold these levels. And that could be a big if on it, but it's not a bad setup at all. And again, the biggest volume that I'm looking at is from the earnings. So we're not really taking out huge volume, and that's probably going to take it into a little bit of a chop, I think. So really, if you want to go crazy bullish on this one, then get me above 68.46, and I think at that point you got room up to like 75.20. But for right now, just hanging on. Intel, I think had a deal with somebody. I forget who. I think it was Nvidia, and then there was somebody else that was kind of testing their chips with the Intel process. Broadcom, AVGO, that's who it was. Yep. So good news for them. Nice little pop. Pretty good location at open. There's not a lot holding you back, except for that 200, which we're opening at now. Otherwise, next price target takes us to 25.88, and then 26.13 is the big one. We get any closing above 26.13. Next target is all the way at the top, but I think that's able to be taken out, and you probably get your next leg up. Good pullback, decent looking S curve, good consolidation. You hung on to the 100, you hung on to the 20, you hung on to the 50, and now we just got to deal with this. So again, maybe small pullback. Otherwise, I like this location a lot. You might get some more momentum from this one. Let me just check the volume at the bottom. Yeah, I would say that this 2610 is probably your spot where a lot of bulls got trapped on this little pullback, so that's probably going to be your resistance. I don't know, can we make it there today? It's probably one of my favorite setups so far. But again, allowing for a little chop at the morning bell, see if this thing can hold, see if there's actually some strength coming in. Just because we had a good rally on Friday and a good weekend where we had some positive news and the markets kind of liked it, doesn't mean sentiment is just flipped to complete bullish as opposed to just still, I think, some chop. Until it's not the case. I don't know. Wendy says my coin and MSTR puts are so cooked. Yeah, they would probably be cooked even with a further out uh time frame on those ones probably gonna get beat up a little. SMCI is chilling. Actually not a bad open to it. So still inside day candle. Usually I don't want to see a little pullback. Watch 41.37 on this one. If we could hold that, that's also the closer you get to that, the better the risk reward on it. Otherwise, not a bad open. Your next resistance was 42.48. Looks like we're bound to get a little bit of an open higher than that. You have your next target on this one right into that 200. Also good volume zone 45.82. If we start breaking above it, look for extended targets to I think 47.25. So maybe not a huge range today, but decent. Look for, I mean, you have good support. We kind of closed right at it, or we kind of opened right at it, closed to the next resistance, and you're gapping a little bit higher. So not bad on that one. Since we were just getting all the chip ticker names, let's just cover AMD as well. Let's see what that one's doing. Just because it's definitely a well beat up stock and it is gapping a little bit today. Let's see if momentum can come into that at all today. Um, no, yeah, I still kind of now I know why I haven't really got the nobody's requesting AMD. Now I get it. Yeah. Uh, Good gap. At least it's trying. It's durable. But nice breakdown candle on Thursday. Even with a big massive rally, you hung into that candle. But for any signs of potential reversing, look for like 102.47. And then you still got your next real resistance at like 104.88. So I do think that probably sticking with some of the other chip names are the better move today. AVGO, since that one's tangled up with Intel. You have a nice little gap above the 100. That's interesting. And then I think you got room on this one to 208.06, somewhere in that zone. Massively bullish day would be 211.72. We'll put this one a tad higher. See if we can hold that 100 EMA somewhere to that effect. All right, let's see what else we got. We got app. App looked interesting. Yeah, app looked very interesting this morning. So good high wave candle. With lots and lots of volume. We had a gap up. That was a failed kind of bull pop. Those bulls not loving it, but no reason for them to really get out. I think everyone's probably eyeing down this 382, which is a nice almost $30, $32, something like that to the higher side. Before you get there, I think your target for today would be 362.76. There's still a decent amount of room higher on that one, and then you got your 50 that you're also running into right there as well. So I think that would be my target. That also actually lines up with the low end of this candle from February 25th. An extraordinarily bullish day would be getting us right into that 382. I don't know if that happens today. We have a lot of resistance, but you actually have a lot of room on app on this one. It's another one with a lot of free room to run, which I like. All right, let's see. OTTR, Otter Trail Corporation. Okay. I don't know this one. I like it. Um, Longer term, nice uptrends. Every longer term pullback has been bought up, so that's decently bullish. You are gapping right above that 200 today. Not bad. You're above the bigger volume zones, which we retested on Friday. So 79.03 in a longer term. Keep me above that one, which today the bulls are. I don't know how well this trades, where the spreads are at on this thing. But besides that, next immediate target is about 81.38. If you could break through that, I think you have decent room to like this 82.55 for today. Candle wise, we got some decent volume on this one too. From Thursday that we're kind of climbing above. And then you do have a lot of resistance coming in. Not bad, actually. Um, it's a little congested, but besides that, not bad. Let's put this one higher. I don't know if I'm going to trade it just because I'm not familiar with it, but I'm going to watch today. Even for a swing trade, maybe setting up kind of okay. Let's get this one a little bit higher. All right. Let's see. Ben says lurker here. I love when you guys call yourselves out as lurkers because by definition, you guys are yeah, Leonard did say AMD. But yeah, as soon as you say lurker here and you're just identifying yourself as lurker, you by fact are now adding comments into the chat and you just lost lurker status. But welcome to the actives. That's what we're gonna call it. The actives in the chat. All right. That's all the tickers we got so far. All right, what do we got? 3 minutes left. All right, let's take a look at Celsius. This one I was looking at earlier today, not a bad location as well. I think you got room at least at 27.17, but really good move after earnings, even though it was a miss. I think it had to do with a little bit of the buyout and outlook, but this is a decent location, at least for a swing. It's about a 618 retracement off the lows. And then today we were gapping up, still inside day, so it's maybe a small pullback. If you get as close as possible to 25.84, I think that's decent. But otherwise, if we could even hold this 26.23, you still have some decent play on this one. I think to 27.20. Anyone else getting error message when logging into TOS? It did take me like 2 tries to get into TOS today, but eventually it did load up for me. A recovering lurker. Let's see, Baba. See some of the Chinese names. Baba is gapping up as well. We do have a lot of retail. That's actually a good gap on Baba. Probably want to see a little pullback. I don't really want to see us retest. I don't mind, but if we do, we do. But 132.61 is a good location. Otherwise, you got a pretty fairly good gap. This would have been the next resistance, 133.67. I think Baba could actually have a good day up to 137.81. So I'd put that on the watch list as well. Let's see if there's anything else China wise. It's moving. So a little gap down on JD, Baidu. Uh, Maybe Baidu has a little bit of room on this one too. JD not so much. JD's actually gapping down. Baidu you probably have some room to like 87, 86. Otherwise, I think Kevin still can't. Yeah, you guys can't get into TOS. I'm in. I'm in. But it did take me like 3 tries and I had to shut it down and then restart it. So strange. The other ones would be, yeah, Sound is coming in. And then let's also take a look at Mara as well if we got time. But we got Sound is decent gap. Yep, decent gap. It is a retest gap from Friday. Nice closing candle, bullish engulfing almost. But you really want to get above $11.50. If you could do that, you probably got some room, immediate room up to like 13, 17, and then stretch target 14. So a lot of room on that one. Mara, just as crypto's going crazy, you got a good about 20. Still a little bit more room on this one up to about 15.90. And then if you could break through that, bulls are back in control. Otherwise, retest gap. Look for support around 14.79. Whew. Other than that, you guys in YouTube land, the lurkers, the actives, you guys are all incredible. And just make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe.